we will move on to a game that is circled on our calendars. Daniel will be attending this game this weekend.
Hold on. It's literally on the calendar.
He's got it on the calendar. Look at it. Circle it. It's not circled. You need to circle it.
Wait, not in purple. Fuck no.
Circle it in blue.
And May.
It's blue.
Go blue.
Circle.
There you go. All right. It's circled on Daniel's calendar for sure. But we have the Vrbo Fiesta Bowl. It is in Glendale, Arizona, suburb of Phoenix. Daniel and his brother Xander will be going up there. Woo! All right, Janet will be going up there. They will be some Michigan fans in attendance at the game. Do we think TCU even has a shot in this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hard pass. Hard pass.
Tony says hard pass. Do tell Tony.
I am rooting for a Texas team to pull it out somehow, but Michigan is just too much for them. Their running game is going to be annihilating that defensive line. I don't think TCU has what it takes to be in the playoffs right now against that team.
Is your running back playing?
Blake Corum is not playing. Donovan Edwards.
But we have Donovan Edwards, and he ran over Ohio State. He's the reason, one of the big reasons why we won. Another reason, the deep shots we took downfield. Oh, it was great. So good. Mm-hmm. TCU's best win this year is against, I think, Kansas State. They had to come back in that game. They were down I remember it was like 28-13, something like that at halftime or something. Might have been worse. I think it was 28-7. They came back and won. I don't think they let Kansas State score in the second half. They won 38-28. And then they play them in the Big 12 championship at AT&T Stadium, and Kansas State beats them in overtime 31-28. But other than that, TCU has not played really anybody. They beat Texas. They beat them 17-10 in Austin, which is a feat. Alabama almost lost to Texas in Austin, so people forget about that. That was the first game of the year. They did beat Oklahoma. Yeah. Oklahoma is not good this year. They're 6-6. Wasn't for them playing UTEP, they probably wouldn't be in a bowl game. And then they beat Kansas. Kansas was pretty good this year. Kansas only lost to them by 7 in Lawrence. So I do think this is the toughest test for TCU this year. This is the toughest defense that they're going to see. I don't think they're going to be putting up points like they've been putting up points on other teams. I think they can put up some points, but I don't think they're going to score a lot. I don't think they get over like 21 points, honestly. Michigan, because TCU does have a good defense to an extent, because TCU has given up 40 points to
They have a good Big
Oklahoma. Well, here, they've given up 40 points to Oklahoma State, 31 points to Kansas, 28 points to Kansas State, 31 points to Kansas State, 28 points to Baylor. Granted, that's a rivalry game. They should have lost that game with that gamble they ran out when they were running out on the field to kick that field goal. They got it off. I mean, they did win the game. Give them credit. But this is the biggest test that TCU is going to put up with all season. I just don't know if they're going to be able to. They might hang around for a little bit in the first half, but I think Michigan is on a mission. Michigan was in this round last year against Georgia, and Georgia destroyed Michigan. It wasn't even close. It wasn't a game the entire time after the first quarter. That game was over. Michigan's on a mission this year, and I think they're going to beat TCU. I think they're going to beat them down. Sorry, Steven. Well, not you, Steven, but another Steven I know that went to TCU, Steven and Alicia. Love you guys, but we're going to beat you down. The line has dropped. By the way, Michigan's favored by 7.5. I think it opened at 9 or 10 or something like that. TCU has allowed an average of 218 yards rushing against Baylor and then against Kansas State. So cumulatively, we rush the ball. If we run all over them, we're going to score so many points. I don't know. I know Max Duggan was a Heisman finalist. And credit to him, I think he finished second in the voting. I did not see that coming because I did not really think he was a big Heisman candidate, but he is a big reason why TCU's in this position. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to have great success through the air against this TCU defense. I think we've seen tougher defenses, honestly, because we played Ohio State a few weeks ago, and I think they're a better team than TCU. Sorry, TCU fans. Y'all backed into the playoffs as well. No offense. You do deserve the 3 seed because Ohio State didn't even get to their championship game. I think we get our national championship shot against the Georgia Bulldogs. We beat TCU. We cover the 7.5. I think Michigan wins. I'm going to say 44-21. Go Blue.
And then Casey takes a bow and goes, and scene.
And scene. I know, right? now that his rant's over, TCU wins by a mile. No contest. Just kidding. Big 12s, like Casey was saying, Big 12 teams are notorious for having no defense. It's all offense in that league. So, I mean, they should.
Here's my other thing. When they play teams that have good defenses, they don't score. So there's that too. But
they have to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, TCU has had to come back in almost every single game this year. I mean, granted, they've won every game except the championship game in the Big 12. I just don't have them doing much offensively, just because they won't be able to keep up with Michigan just running all over them. If Michigan can constantly run the ball and not fumble, I mean, it's game over. This game might be a repeat of the Michigan-Georgia game last year, just flipped. I just don't see TCU putting up much of a fight unless unless Michigan shoots himself in the foot. Other than that, I just don't see him doing that.
Here's a little bit of a fun stat, too. Michigan in the second half. Can you best guess what the point differential is after halftime for Michigan?
It's fucking insane. It's like 180 something.
Plus 206.
Yeah. It's
So,
fucking nuts.
Second half team for sure. But TCU.
They go in, make their adjustments, and come out with their fucking.
TCU is also a second half team.
Yeah,
Strong's
TCU,
out.
you got to be ready. Like I said, they haven't faced a team like us.
Said my piece already. I'm calling it a Michigan win. Only thing left to say is a score. I don't know if they'll get to the 40s. I'm gonna say 38-12 Michigan.
Damn.
But I will say it here. I think that will be the last celebration for the year because I don't think they can match up to Georgia either.
Hey, we'll get to that if we get to that,
We'll get to
okay?
that.
We'll
We'll
talk
get to
about that
that
next
next
week.
Get to that.
The only way Michigan loses this game is if they beat themselves, just like Georgia. The way it's set up right now, Georgia and Michigan on paper should just not play these games and just play each other, right? That's just the way the playoff is this year. Like the top two teams are significantly better from what we've seen.
We'll find out on Saturday.
The 3 and 4, exactly. Again, I mean, it's the game of football. You never know what's gonna happen. Literally anything can happen. Like things can go wrong. You get a deflected pass for pick 6 touchdown. You have to play the game. That's why we play the games. Very sad that Blake Corum will not be playing for Michigan this week. That is a big hit to the offense. But fucking Donovan Edwards is just as good. So Michigan's gonna pull this out. I like our odds here against TCU. I will be there. Xander and I bought tickets yesterday. We'll have an on-location video for you guys coming with that. TCU has a good squad, but they need everything to go right for them to be able to even compete with Michigan here. I really like Michigan here. I need to get another jersey because mine doesn't fit me anymore.
He's fat.
Huh?
Because he's fat.
Yeah, it's because I'm fat. But we put up 45 on Ohio State. I think we could destroy TCU here, man. I want to demoralize them. Like you said, Casey, Michigan's on a fucking mission this year. They got demoralized last year by Georgia. Rightfully so. Georgia had a fucking disgusting team. Like they were built different. It was just insane. They're really good this year too. I don't think they're as good as last year. I do think Michigan will have a chance against them if that ends up being the national championship. But last year was just utter domination. It was bad. But for this game, I like Michigan here. We'll go 40-23. I think TCU can put up some points with that deep threat that they have. Hopefully Michigan doesn't get too exposed with that, but I don't see them keeping up in the long run. Michigan's going to make their adjustments at halftime like they've been doing all year with a 206 point differential in the second half.
Plus 206.
Fucking insane. Go blue.
Go blue.
Fuck Ohio State.